Now we start the water. So, with all of the water types, I'm going to go one by one every video. So, I'm going to be starting with Squirtle. And what Squirtle represents is the funny aspect of Ash. He has the sunglasses and everything. He can be a boss. He was the Pokemon that Ash originally wanted. And it turned out Gary chose Squirtle. And what Squirtle represents is the Pokemon who embodies Ash's quirky side. And the quirkiness of this Squirtle is what makes Squirtle so much fun to watch growing up. And when Squirtle was first shown, when there was Team Rocket's trying to bomb everybody, Squirtle just picks up Ash on his back and then just runs around like a hilarious boss. And you know what transpires next. Ash catches a Squirtle. So when Ash allowed Squirtle to go back to the Squirtle squad, Ash's Squirtle comes back, and he demonstrated newfound abilities that Ash's Squirtle didn't demonstrate before he left. And since that training took place with Officer Jenny and the Squirtle squad, since Ash's Squirtle is the captain of that squad, everything that took place in that arc, Ash's Squirtle is one of his best water types, not because it has been around the longest, but since the captaincy represents something greater. He embodies leadership, he embodies a taskful kind of role, and that's something that I truly like about Ash's Squirtle, because the leadership aspect, sure, you don't want to see something so serious, but you also want to see something entertaining. And since Squirtle was entertaining, you will want to see something that makes you want to watch this anime. And when I was growing up, Ash's Squirtle was actually one of my favorite Pokemon. And since he departed, we didn't get to see Squirtle's full potential reached because it's with the Squirtle Squad. And since the Squirtle Squad didn't hone down its abilities, we will always remiss on the opportunity wasted with Squirtle, because since it didn't show the ability it didn't want to evolve, but in the sense that he has a rivalry with every Wartortle, we got to witness something that was magical on screen. A underdog story of a Squirtle wanting to aspire to be greater than its evolved form. And since Squirtle and its leadership qualities, it overweighs the lack of battle experience. That's the one downside of Squirtle, because it barely was used in gym battles. And since it wasn't barely used in gym battles, sure, people may debate this, but it only appeared in at least 4 gym battles between Johto and Kanto. And since that was a remissed opportunity, you fail to realize the impact that Squirtle had on Ash and his Pikachu and the rest of his Kanto Pokemon. And since he had the brother-to-brother bond with Ash's Bulbasaur, if Squirtle evolved, you didn't want to see that brother-to-brother bond left in the dust, because Bulbasaur didn't want to evolve, while Squirtle wanted to be greater. He wanted to proceed in the level, but he also didn't want to miss an opportunity to become strong. And when Squirtle left, I had a little downer because I didn't want to see it leave the main cast, but I understood it had to leave the main cast because it gave Ash the opportunity to catch more Pokemon. So I'm gonna finish off on this note. When Squirtle came back during the Johto League against Macy, it pulled a rabbit out of its butt and single-handedly brought Ash back into the match. And it defeated an Electabuzz and a Quilava. Macy's Quilava demonstrated it had the ability to defeat a Pokemon of a type advantage. And that type advantage Ash had was his Phanpy. And since it defeated Phanpy, Ash needed to formulate a strategy that demonstrated both Ash and his Squirtle. So when there was a smoke screen on the field, thanks to Quilava, Ash and his Squirtle, when it was flipped upside down, used Water Gun and hit Electabuzz right in the stomach twice in one hit, in one sequence. And since that event took place, you always wanted to see something that always rose to the challenge, raised the bar. And since Squirtle always did that when it was on the battlefield, you wanted to see something better every week. So since Squirtle wasn't barely appreciated by the writers back in the Kanto region, you always wanted to see something that rose the bar and rose to the challenge. And since Squirtle attempted to raise the challenge, you have that to be admired. But since the lack of usage, you always want to see an event take place with a Pokemon aspiring to be good, but you also wanted to see better development for the said Pokemon, Squirtle. So, sadly, since Squirtle wasn't barely used enough as it should have been, I know people may dispute this, but I think Squirtle's placement on Ash's team was mismanaged. And let's just say I'm hoping Squirtle comes back at one point and is on call from Professor Oak's lab at one point. Now that Charizard has returned from training in the Charcific Valley, and Gliscor has returned from the Air Battle Master, I want to see Squirtle be the next one. So, that's all, folks. See you on Kingler's episode. Take care.